My name's Eli Rin. I use all pronouns, and I'm coming to you today from Odawa, Potawatomi, and Ojibwe lands, also called Chicago colonially. And I'm happy to be here with you today on this kind of late January Sunday. Um, Last week was fun if you were here. A few of you were. I was kind of joining you from the back of a car in the middle of Pennsylvania on my way in a long road trip. Today I'm back home, a little more settled in my own space, but equally as excited for the novelty of getting to breathe together. It's exciting every time to me. Um, or at least in my best moods, it's always exciting, I should say. But today I feel very, I don't know, a little bit of levity in my morning. Um, Honestly, I just cleaned my room after a while and I woke up to a clean room, and wow, that shift really can be powerful in a silly way to me. Just so immediately a need that I could have fulfilled that I put off for so long. And then right when I did it, I was like, wow, how could I have ever lived without this clean room? And so, kind of thinking of that energy today, which is what I've been kind of cleaning around my house with, I welcome you all into the Mother Harriet Liberation Practice Sit. Today, we'll move through our same kind of general flow that we have been. Um, when I was at my temple, I used to, if you've ever been to like maybe a Zen monastery or like a meditation center, you might have seen a han is the Japanese word for it. But it's like a big wooden block that people strike before a meditation. It kind of opens up the space. Um, and I used to do that every single time I led meditation at the temple. And so today we'll open up with the drum as the han. Just kind of, you can think of that kind of minute or so of just this kind of specific little opening rhythm as the same as the drum when we're working with chanting or spirituals, right? We're kind of starting with the land, is how I like to think about it. Starting with like a tree trunk, a piece of earth, a piece of something that has grown up from the earth and is like kind of big and solid. Usually it's a big, like thick piece of wood. Um, and with the drum, it's the same. It's the skin of an animal stretched around tree. It's like a piece of all these different types of life. And so when we hit the drum, when we're chanting, I always think of it as that kind of, we talk about that like throbbing frequency of liberation, trying to open up, relax our bodies, ease into that kind of settledness that comes with being your own kind of engine, being able to keep going, help yourself with community to move forward. And so, not to get too abstract right at the top. Sorry, I had a lot of thoughts, but yeah, today will be just simple practice, diving in as usual. Everything will come into the chat as it arrives. Everything is opt in, opt out. If you need to take a break, turn your camera on or off, use the chat, leave, come back. It's all available to you. And I hope you feel kind of safe and enough agency today to really just listen to your needs. Oh, welcome, Roth. And to be able to just take this time to really, again, we're developing that deep listening, that trust. So as we start our practice today, my big invitation, as always, is the question of how do we lead from trusting our own experience, right? How do we lead with our experience rather than the narratives we tell them ourselves about them, right? Lama Rod always, in the past couple of weeks, has been talking a lot, I feel like, about how we can try to understand first and then experience what we think we understood rather than take our experience, trust that, and then let the wisdom and the understanding come from that lived experience. Otherwise, we're always like living in an approximation, right? We're living one step away from the real thing. And we spend so much time diving deep into this like projection of what we might be doing and trying to understand that and then seeking the experience of all of those thoughts that we let swirl around rather than just starting with, oh, hey, I'm experiencing something right now. Let me instead start there. What's this? How do I feel it? You know, as I sit here, as I gently, join this group of friends in practice, how does my lower back feel? It can start as simple as that. How's my jaw? Or where do I find my breath today? As we gently breathe in and out, you might notice the breath trickling in the throat, nose. Perhaps it fills the lungs. Perhaps we feel our breath deep in our belly, slowly filling and releasing. Wherever we feel our breath today, there's no need to change it, to alter it. In this moment, perhaps we could just take a second to notice. What's the quality of this breath? What can it teach me about how I take care of myself, of how I can tend to this moment? And we'll open up with the Han striking minute and a half or so and move into just some gentle breathing together with the bells. Just take a nice, gentle, deep breath in and slowly let it out. As you come into your seat, as you come into this practice, you might find a posture that feels sustainable, sitting, standing, lying down, in motion. And we'll just start by taking a few gentle breaths together, breathing in with the high bell, which sounds like this. By a show of thumbs up, can we hear the bells today? Thumbs down, okay, we'll use our voice today. Every now and then, though, sound gets crazy, so we'll just use me.
I
Okay.
think that may be an issue with the noise gate setting,
Ah,
which we can talk about sometime if you want.
yes, we'll do that later. Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for breathing along with whatever that sounded like for you. And we'll take just a simple breath in, breath out. Come back to your seat. Today, we'll start by just doing a simple box breath. Nothing too wild. We'll breathe in through the nose. I invite you to drop the shoulders away from the ears. Really take a second for the container, the body to relax around the breath, to really just make space internally. We'll hold our breath and then we'll breathe out through the mouth, releasing everything. And again, we'll hold at the bottom, that empty state, really noticing how to relax around that discomfort and trust that our breath is coming back, right? Even if we experience this pause, we can trust the system is still going. So we'll take a deep breath in together, let it all out, breathe in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold. Breathe in, letting the breath return to a normal, natural pace. We might just take a moment to invite Mother Harriet into this space, into our practice with us. And today, as we do that, we can begin by returning to the water that we've been exploring. If you want to imagine yourself at the edge of a vast river after sunset, the water rushing by, you feel the dirt slightly damp underneath your feet as you slowly steady into your spot, your feet sink in slightly, making an impression in the earth. A little spot to hold. We breathe in and out by this water, hearing the wind blowing through the trees, feeling the breeze rolling across the forearm, the skin of the face. And as we just sit here by the river or stand watching the water flow, we can open up this space, perhaps internally from our heart space, saying, Mother Harriet, may you please join this practice. Lend me your prayer. May I find your voice in mine. And with that invitation from our hearts, we start to notice the moonlight. Gently reaching out to the skin, kind of bathing us, cascading from forehead down the body. Each spot this moonlight touches offers a little illumination, a homecoming invitation to come back into the body. Shoulders, I see you. Wrists, elbows, knees, toes, I see you. I'm with you now. And it also seems to this moonlight almost shine through us, painting that picture of our surroundings, showing us the night it chooses to show us today. Leaving shadows for what's not to see, or for what maybe is just to feel. We take a few simple breaths in and out with this moonlight, and Mother Harriet might begin to appear before us, to appear deep within the belly, or perhaps you just feel her presence in the rushing of the water, in the dappling of the light. And we can take just a moment or two to rest here, letting whatever is starting to arise, arise. No expectations for how this can feel, but just to breathe in, to let go, and continue on. And in the chat is our mantra that we'll be working with, mantra from the Heart Sutra, Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha, which one translation is gone, gone beyond, gone completely beyond, awakening, so be it. And in thinking of this mantra, working with Mother Harriet to explore what going beyond really means for us, right? We've been focusing on that shattering, that feeling of impossibility, right? In the face of genocide, in the face of violence, in the face of oppression, in the face of capitalism, it can be so difficult to believe in recreation, in change, in the reality that this is one moment and there will be a next one. And so in this practice, for me, I feel so grateful to kind of dive into internally, what does it take for me to believe in what I'm doing? And not just intellectually, not just even spiritually, but to create a set of actions in a row that amount to something that I believe in, right? To break down karma to its specific like hyper literal translation of action. How do I line up one action after another in a way that feels fulfilling to me, right? What kind of excavation do I have to do to find that place? And so in this breath, in this chant, as we go beyond, we find our own voices. And again, we listen for the voice of everyone else that has come before, that has freed their people, that has broken one link of intergenerational harm in their family cycle, that has shifted and been embodied enough in that shift to be able to let it turn into wisdom and not just one moment, right? Broken up, but we can actually start to link our actions, understand a little bit more, just a little bit, you know. I haven't gotten very far in understanding the reach of my actions, but little by little, as I understand more, things are easier because I'm doing things that make sense to me, right? I'm just simply doing more things that make sense to me. And so I spend less time being confused about who I am and what I'm doing. And that's been a big relief in such a suffering world. And so today, that was kind of the, I don't know, feeling on my heart, what I've been trying to bring into my week, maybe. So with that energy, we'll move into our mantra. Going for about 10 minutes or so through maybe 7, then our communal prayers, and then our spiritual. You might take another cleansing breath on your own time and feel free to join in, listen, hum along, move along. Just truly finding what feels natural. Gate, gate, Arasamgati Odiswa Adhigati Paragati Parasamgati Odhisva Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Odhisva Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Odhisva Swaha Radhe Gati Paragati Parasamgati Odi Swaha Radhe Gati Paragati Parasamgati Odi Swaha Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Gati Gati varagati parasamgati odi swaha gati varagati parasamgati odi swaha gati gati varagati parasamgati odi swaha gati gati varagati parasamgati odi swaha gati gati varagati parasamgati bodhisvaha gati gati varagati parasamgati bodhisvaha. And taking a moment to just bask in the sound of your own voice, of these physical sound waves being birthed, traveling beyond us. And before we move into our communal prayer, which is in the chat, we'll take some time in this space to return to our Okinaga practice, long breath practice. This is kind of our central breath work that we'll be working with, at least this year. And I'll explain it briefly. For further reading, there's a bunch of resources in the Google Drive folder, a little practice scene in there. But we'll be breathing in through the nose, letting our breath kind of trickle in through the back of the nostrils, trying to use as little force as possible to really just let the opening of space internally allow for breath to flow in. And then when we breathe out through the mouth, same kind of feeling, letting the breath trickle out kind of from the back of the throat, almost making a little sound, slowly letting all that breath leave the body. We'll move through a few rounds of 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 together. No need to count. I'll give verbal in and out cues this whole time. And as we breathe, the invitation is really to relax the container, to go beyond that impossibility feeling, that sense of distrust that, oh, if I don't breathe out right now, like I might pass out and die. This is going to be the end. But I promise you, with what we're doing at 6 seconds, it's not going to be the end. You know, for me at least, in all my years, this part has been safe. No matter how scary it feels inside, we can start to make room around that panic, around that curiosity. Let things arise. How do we feel at our deepest breath? For what arises at my most labored one? All of that information for how to tend to the moment. We'll start by just taking a clearing breath in, let it all out. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. Longer. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Taking reset breaths as we need to, our longer breath in. Out. In. Out. Trusting your pace, resisting the urge to dump or gasp. In. Everything out. Find a natural pace again. Take a moment to notice how you feel. And with palms together, with a gesture that feels like holding or offering to you, we might recite our communal prayers together today, which are in the chat. May all beings be free. May those suffering experience liberation. May we hold each other through revolution. May we abolish everything that is not love. May we rebirth a free world. Svaha, so be it. And today, as we offer these prayers out, as we move into the second and final portion of our kind of main practice, our spiritual offering, I invite you to kind of return to your waters visually. Find yourself by the river. We sprinkled this offering into the last sit, and today we're going to expand upon it. Just a simple 4-line wade in the water refrain. And before we sing, I'll just, give a little context as always. This song, you know, this type of song, Black spirituals, work songs, songs that people who are working in tandem with the land to free each other, who find no separation from themselves and the movement of the water, the breeze, the trees, things like that. Our ancestors and our, living friends right now, ourselves. We're tapping into that sort of immovable, ever moving paradox. How do I ground into something that feels like home, that feels stable, that feels fortified almost? Wow, letting go of the illusion that I'll have anything to hold on to, while radically moving forward and changing and letting go when I need to, right? How do I ground into something ever changing? That's kind of the paradox of practice for me. And in practicing Okinaga, in finding our breath, in, just taking 1 minute to say, I could take 10 breaths in this minute, or I could take one. I could inhale for 30 seconds and exhale for 30 seconds and really try to listen to myself and see what arises. Not that one way of breathing is better, but just that there are more ways to be, even just within our own breath. The possibilities are limitless. The worlds, the lives we've lived, the ways we will show up again and again, the ways the ground will mulch us and we will be trees and the ground will mulch us again into rain. We could be steam evaporating off a leaf, right? Countless iterations of just ways to be. And so as we deal with the vastness of that, as we open ourselves to the possibility that we have that potential, again, for me, that underbelly is the trust, that belief that I deserve to be free and that I can trust in the freedom I experience. Since systems of oppression will try to trick us into not trusting that, those tastes of freedom that we know we have, that linger on our tongue. And so as we go through this wade in the water, I'll sing it once through and folks are invited to join in, hum along, just listen. But perhaps you take the chance to visualize as we sing together, just walking into that river. Just let yourself go from the shore halfway into the river. You're not pushed, the current isn't too fast. It just gently welcomes you. It takes a little weight off your body. You're not quite floating, not quite standing, just gently held. And Mother Harriet sang this song historically to let people know, get into the water. Clear your scent, there are people coming, there's danger. The water will cleanse the path. And don't fear the tides, dive into them. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Wade in the water. Mm. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to feel the majority of yourself that is water. The tide that is your blood carrying water throughout your entire body. The wind that is the oxygen. The waiting and waiting. What can we trust here? And if the answer is not something within ourselves or something that feels a part of our system, how can we plant the aspiration, the seed of compassion that might bloom into some sort of trust? Again, not judging any perceived lack, but just taking the pain, the grief, all of it, information, where to direct our care. What do I tend to right now? Who wades in these waters with me? Even in this dark, in this moonlight, even with a chill running down my neck, my temperature already acclimating to the water on my lower half, I can trust I am held. I know the water itself means life, means sangha, means community, means interbeing. And we might take one last deep communal breath in, sighing out this time. Trusting even that ancestral sigh, that deep breath. And we can invite a little motion into our bodies, drink some water, perhaps check in with the neck and shoulders, any stretch, any quick shakes. Always pro wiggle. So, I'm always going to endorse a wiggle after any activity. Throw a wiggle in there. But I thank you. I thank Mother Harriet. I thank this practice, this space today for this opportunity to come together and to just explore. I was feeling a little, I don't know, like confused about the format today in a way that I have not felt beforehand. And then right when it started, I was like, I just kind of do whatever I'm thinking anyways. Why am I trying to think of it now? So then I just did whatever I was thinking and it was great. I had a feeling something was going to be weird with the sound. And so just tossing away all the bells was nice just to sing with y'all and be with y'all. Um, Space, as always, before we leave is open. If you'd like to use the chat to check in, if you'd like to come off video, I'm going to end the recording.